pins lying around my house, and you probably do too, so I decided to find a good use for them. So all you're going to need is something to take the pins apart and something to put them back together. You're also going to need something to fuel them, so any sort of firework or explosive substance like matches will work just fine. So first thing you want to do is take apart your pin with pliers or whatever it takes to open up the pin, doesn't really matter. There's many different types of pins out there, but there's always a way that you can open it. It may not just be pulling on it with pliers or unscrewing it, but it should be pretty simple if you just look at it. So with all these pins, you want to take out the ink cartridge and springs and save those for a later project. We just need it to be completely empty. Some pins work better than others, and I found the ones that have 2 open ends work the best, so you can put in the fuse on one side and then put in the fuel on the other side. The first thing I tried was using just regular firecrackers because it seemed kind of obvious. So I just opened them up to get to the powder on the inside. Here I just made a little pile of all the powder and the firecrackers. I like using the firecrackers because you can take out the fuses and just reuse those in the pins, so it's pretty convenient that you don't have to use any extra fuse. I also used crackling firework, and then I used an artillery shell also to see if I could get different results within the pins. The last fuel that I used was matches. These are good because they are in the common household. The only problem is that they're not quite as powerful, and you'd have to find your own fuse to use because they don't have a fuse in them. Once you're done collecting all your powder, you can glue your fuse into your pin, and then once that is done, you can dump the powder into the back of the pin. You want to make sure to pack it in tight so the pin actually works. So you fill it all the way up and pack it tight, and once you have that done, glue on the back to make sure it's completely sealed. Make sure you hold the pin together for a few seconds while the glue dries, just to make sure it's completely closed. The more you make these, the more you'll get the hang of it, and it's pretty easy to stash up. I can make one in probably a minute or two, so it doesn't take long to get a pretty big pile. Oh god. Let's try this one. Oh. Hope I didn't start a fire under the kayak. That one pretty much worked like a rocket. Oh, that's hot. Okay. This one looks like it has some, looks like it has some stars in it from that artillery shell, and some of the I think I did about half and half between the crackling and the stars. Let's try this one. It looks like it only burned about halfway down. I mean, I guess that happens sometimes, though. I remember packing some of these pretty tight towards the end, so that one could have been too tight to go off, I guess.